These horsemen ride with the pistol on its side, with heads like thunder, the rock of your pride. We'll have no mercy for big, far and wide.
What's up, Whiskey Chaser fam? How we doing today? Hope everyone is doing well. I am here today because I'm celebrating a milestone, which is 2 years now on the Whiskey Chaser YouTube channel. We did this last year. I went through and I talked about just some of the things that I had gone through during the previous year, some of the rides that I'd been on, some of the things that I'd learned. I try to think that I will do one every year, but I am not 100% sure. However, we are doing it here. We are doing it now. This is going to be year 2 from September to September 2021 to 2022. It was a huge year. This was going to be my year of travel, I decided. Let me just check and see. I actually had to go through and write down everything that happened because with so much going on and meeting so many people and traveling so many places, I actually forgot a lot. And that's one great thing about documenting this journey and you know, having these videos, is because I am able to sit there and look back on all of these adventures and all of this amazing time that I've spent with so many really cool people in all these amazing places. Last year when I did this, I had about 500 subscribers. I was sitting at about 20,000 views, which at the time was just completely unheard of in my mind for what this could be. And I'm so grateful for every single person who has been here since then. I don't know if all 500 of those people are still here, but I know that a majority are. They've been with me since the beginning, and it's awesome. You guys are amazing. I love you so much. I'm not going to talk about really what happened over the first year again. I'm specifically going to be focusing on just reflecting on this last year. This has just been so phenomenally cool. Right now we're sitting at about 2750, I believe, just maybe over that. So I had a huge jump after I went to the Forgotten Angels camp out in Tampa, Florida back in October, because who I now consider a good friend of mine, Shade Tree Surgeon, he sent big mention out on his YouTube, and he talked about me a lot, and he asked a bunch of you fine folks to come over and check out my videos and stuff like that, which he didn't need to do. He did that all of his own accord, and I'm so glad that we were able to speak and connect and hang and, you know, drink beers and ride motorcycles together and just like all this really cool fun stuff. That was just absolutely incredible. So now, you know, after that big jump, I was able to monetize the channel, which is always like the first goal of every YouTuber, I believe, to get that 1,000 subscribers and that 4,000 watch hours, and to get that channel monetized and to start making money, even though you're really not making money. I made about $1,000 over the past year of having monetization on my channel, but it's still just like, it's incredible that making videos for the internet has been able to, number one, connect me with all of these people, number two, allowed me to take the time to travel all over and do this stuff, has motivated me to do that, and then number three, has put a little bit of money in my pocket, and that's super awesome. There's people who have bought stickers, there are people who have bought shirts, there are people who have donated, there are people who have joined Patreon. I think I had 2 Patreons this time last year, and now I have 30, which is incredible. All of my Patreon members are absolutely amazing, even though I am the worst at keeping up with it and everything like that. But everybody who is on there, you guys are awesome. I really appreciate you. It is just beyond words of what I can think to say, just to thank you for being there and supporting me and supporting this channel and making this cool fun stuff happen. I don't want to say just last year, because this was actually mostly 2022, but if you look at like October, November, and December of last year, and then the first 9 months of this year, I went to Florida 3 times. I drove twice. Did 1 iron butt to Florida, not back, but almost did the iron butt back. I flew one time just to go hang out with all of the awesome people down there in the Brapstar crew. And then, you know, Jack and Colleen were so nice to be able to put me up for the weekend and allow me to borrow a motorcycle to ride around with everybody. And that was just absolutely incredible. It was so much fun. Mike Branch, he invited us to his house and gave us beers, and we all hung out and all that. And then Mike, Wizard Over Comb, he also helped to organize me coming out and hanging with them and having a lot of fun with everybody. And it was absolutely incredible. I'm so glad that I get to go out there and do something that was not part of the camp out, because I loved hanging out with everybody. But at the camp out, it's so chaotic. All this stuff is happening all the time. People are riding motorcycles and just raging and having a fun, super awesome weekend, and you really don't leave the compound all that much except for like the ride back from Bert's. So we were able to go to some local bars and go do some karaoke and play some pool, and it was just super awesome to be able to get to hang with everybody outside of that situation. I'm looking forward to just in a couple of weeks going back down and meeting back up with everybody. I cannot wait for this year. It's going to be so much fun. I went to Eureka Springs, Arkansas, which was absolutely a surreal experience. The town of Eureka Springs is so cool, and it's strange, and it's like a little hobbit town up in the mountains, and you like expect like there to be a dragon flying around overhead or like something like that. It was just so wild. I was only there for such a short period of time, and I don't regret leaving early because I got to ride with Mike Branch and Jay Tree Surgeon back to Tennessee the next day, and we had just this great bonding experience that, you know, we all got to do a big ride together that we had all never done before, meeting up in a completely different state that all three of us don't live in, and then traveling a quarter of the way across the country. But Eureka Springs, I want to be able to go back there. It just was so cool. So cool meeting up with the Ornery One and his wonderful wife, who were just so cool to us. They were just amazingly gracious hosts that brought us in, showed us the town. We went to a drag show in the middle of Eureka Springs, Arkansas, which was just super funny to me that they would have this, but it was a ton of fun. Everybody had a blast. Traveling to Nashville with Parker the Coyote, this was not the recent trip that we just did where we flew out there and, you know, went and hung out for a week in Nashville. This was the impromptu motorcycle ride that we did. So we rode to Gatlinburg, Tennessee together because my dad's side of the family was having a family reunion, and I really wanted to see my dad and my stepmom and my grandmother and my sister. Wanted to hang out with all of my family. It had been so long since I'd seen everybody, and so we rode our motorcycles to Gatlinburg. Spent a couple of days there. We saw a freaking bear in the middle of the neighborhood, and just some other fun, amazing stuff. And then I said that, you know, it was only just a couple hours ride to Nashville. We could get up in the morning and we could go, and we would be able to hit the Coyote Ugly opening, because Coyote Ugly was tragically hit in the Christmas bombing that had happened in 2020. They had just finished rebuilding that area of the street and that building, and they were reopening for the first time in 2 years. And so I said, you know what, we can do it if you want to. She said, let's go. So we got to ride an extra 250 something miles in the wrong direction to go to Coyote Ugly for one night, and then wake up at 8 o'clock in the morning, turn around, head back to New York. That was just incredible to be able to ride with Parker and have her go out with me and experience something that I have done a couple of times and she has never done. And she took it like a freaking champ. She went out and she rode this awesome big bike. She was not super used to riding long distance at all because she really hadn't done it, but she managed to make it there. And you know, it was tough and it was harsh, but she did it. And then just after that, we went to Ohio, just outside of Toledo, to meet up with Biker Babe Beth at the Renegade Babes camp out at the quarry, and that was so much fun. Met up with Wally, who has been one of the biggest supporters of the channel. Such a cool guy. Father Bobber, who I'd never met, I was able to finally meet and talk to and hang out with, and it was just so much fun. Everybody that was out there was incredible. Another 600 something mile ride for Parker and I to go from New York City all the way to Toledo, Ohio, and meet up with all these guys and camp out under the stars in the middle of a freaking cornfield. Super happy that we were able to do that. No hiccups, no problems. Just went out there for a nice weekend, turned around, came home. I went to Laconia and met with Captain Granite for the first time, which was super awesome. Laconia is the oldest motorcycle rally in the country, and they were celebrating their 99th annual motorcycle rally. It was the furthest north that I have ever been in my life. I was very happy to be able to get up there and hang with those guys, Mad Yankee, Captain Granite, and just spend some time with myself. It was an impromptu, just off on Wednesday, Thursday, so I was like, screw it, let's go. I just rode up there on Wednesday afternoon, hung out all day Wednesday, left on Thursday evening. Went to the High Octane Saloon, which was really cool, and got some great pictures. This was when I first really started using this new camera that I had gotten, and I was really able to finally stretch my legs with it, because I don't know anything about how to use this thing. It was good. It was good for me to be able to just go up there for a day and just have fun, ride around, take pictures, drink beers. Yeah, it was awesome. I think that was maybe all of the trips that I did. So yeah, it was October was Forgotten Angels. I went back to Forgotten Angels in March. April was Eureka Springs. May was Gatlinburg. Was June Laconia? Can't even remember. But I had Laconia and Ohio right there. I think June, July. August, flew down to Tampa again to go hang out with all the Brapstar crew. September, we went to Nashville. Unfortunately, no motorcycle riding. I did have a motorcycle rented for the week. It was just gonna rain, and I didn't want to lose out on the $350 whatever dollars that I was going to be renting this bike for. So unfortunately, no riding. September, out of the state. It is October now, and we are headed down to Forgotten Angels camp out once again, and this time we are going to be taking the auto train, which I think is going to be pretty cool. Yeah, those were all the rides. That's going to be, I think, it for the rest of the year. November, I am going to be, I believe, at the Custom Culture Fest in Brooklyn, but that is going to be the next big event, and that I think might be wrapping up the event season. I will definitely be riding. I'm going to be riding as much as I can all the way up until it starts raining really bad. So I'm hoping that it stays pretty clear. This last week was pretty gross, but hopefully we should be good. I don't mind if it's cold. I don't mind if there's a little snow on the ground. That's fine, whatever. I just don't want to ride in the rain. So we'll see how that goes. Some other huge things that happened this year. Parker got a new bike. She got the 2021 Heritage Deluxe. Thing is incredible. Going from meeting her 6.5 years ago, where she was on a scooter, going from a scooter to a 250 V-Star to a 114 Harley Heritage. Just watching the progression of her doing this has just been amazing. I'm happy to see the progression of her in this hobby. It's not for everybody, and she's thriving in it. So having that new bike is pretty darn cool, man. Pretty darn cool. Now the Bolt has over 28,000 miles on it at this point. If you remember when I purchased it in March, I had 7,000, almost 8. I think it was 7,700 or 7,800 miles on it in March of 2021. So the fact that it has gone over 20,000 miles since March of 2021 is just wild to me. This bike, even though I have done so much to it, and it has ridden in some of the worst rain ever and had oil at one point that looked like chocolate milk. We had to change in the 7-Eleven parking lot. It still runs like a freaking champ, and it's an amazing bike, and I can't believe that I'd never heard of these things before I rode Chris's, because they deserve so much praise. It's such a cool bike, and it's brought me together with so many people too. There are people who, they don't even know that I make YouTube videos, they don't know that I post stuff on Instagram or whatever, but they see my bike and they're like, I know that bike. It's great to see that this tiny community is so strong together. I meet people from all over the country, all over the world really, who have Yamaha Bolts, and they're like the same as me. They're like, I can't believe this thing doesn't get more attention, because it absolutely should. It's an amazing motorcycle, and it's so much fun to ride. I don't really know what else to say. I just really want to reiterate once again, thank every single person here, everybody who's watching these videos, everybody who's letting me do this stupid project, this hobby. Hopefully in the future I'll be able to incorporate some more stuff into this channel. I know that everything can get kind of stale because I don't have the space to do stuff. I don't have the money to do a lot, and ideas get kind of stale, things get recycled. Obviously, if it's not motorcycle related, most of the time people aren't gonna watch. I'm still gonna be making those videos anyway, but I get it. Everybody has a certain reason why they're watching something, and if you're not gonna watch because it doesn't have motorcycles in it, I understand. I totally understand. So I'm gonna continue making content that I think is great for you, the people, but I'm also gonna do stuff that's interesting to myself as well, because I don't want this to just be me trying to appease an audience and not being happy doing it. I do want to make videos for you, yes, you, but I also want to make videos for me as well. This has been such a fun, exciting project of now having 2 years. I'm so excited at what I've done, and I'm excited to see what I can continue to push forward. This was such a big year for me, and now I have to one-up that. And I don't really know how I'm gonna do it, but I know that I'm gonna try, and I'm gonna have fun with it. So, everybody who's watching, thank you very much. If you made it this far, I know this was a non-motorcycle related video, so I don't know how well it's gonna perform, but it really means a lot to me to have everybody watch these videos and to look back on these years of this incredible thing that I managed to push myself into, to have people who accept me and are excited to meet me and want me to be in certain places. I get messages every single day. Are you gonna be at this thing? Are you coming to this? Or you wanna do this? And I wish I could. I wish I could do all of them. I wish I could be everywhere. Unfortunately, right now I cannot, and it is very frustrating to me to not be able to do that. But it is what it is. You gotta do what you can with what you got, and I appreciate every single person who messages me and asks me if I'm gonna be at like the Southern American Rally, or if I'm going to go down to Orlando to go hang out with Shea Tree Surgeon, Shay Lisi, Her Two Wheels, Blockhead. I had so many people asking if I was going to that, and believe me, I absolutely want to. It's just, you know, I'm already taking the time off to go to Florida for the Forgotten Angels camp out, which is so important to me. I couldn't afford to take off more time to be able to go down and hang with Blockhead and Shay and Jess and Josh and all those guys, and I wish I could. And you know, hopefully one day it'll be to the point where I can do that and I don't have to worry about answering to anybody except for the people who watch these videos. We'll see how it goes. Until then, thank you, I really appreciate it. Check the links down below. There's, you know, stuff you can win. I don't want to sit here and, after that whole thing, push all of my own agenda. But if you want to, go check this stuff down below. That's how we're going to keep growing. That's how we're going to get bigger. That's how we're going to do some cool things in the future. If you're going to be at the Forgotten Angels camp out this Halloween weekend, please come up to me and hang. I will have, stickers. I'll take pictures. I'll do that. I am kind of awkward in person. I kind of am just like, yeah, okay, cool. What's up? So please don't feel like I'm trying to get away or run away or whatever. It's different talking to a camera than it is a person, and it still kind of like floors me that people would want to come and talk to me. So please do that, and don't feel weird. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.